Hello, hello, hello. How are we doing today? Welcome to the Decentralized Masters podcast, your go to source for everything in decentralized finance. I'm Tristan, and I'm here today with my co host, John. We're here to
Yo.
guide you through the ever changing world of DeFi, one strategy time. We go live right here on the Decentralized Masters channel at 2 p.m. Eastern Time to bring you the latest insights, updates, and tools to help you in the DeFi space. How's it going, John?
Doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good. I can't complain. You know, you gave me the heads up that there's a token that was going to be listed on Hyperliquid, and I got it last night, so I'm up 90%. So I can't complain on that.
Nice,
Uh,
nice.
but yeah, I mean, the markets are a little bit bleeding, so it's going to be really interesting looking into what we could be expecting for this week and moving forward. But besides that, yeah, pretty good day. Can't complain. Went out for a nice walk this morning. So how about yourself?
You went and touched some grass?
Finally, yeah, man. I told myself, like, you know what? I was listening to Tan's call while I was going for a walk. I was like, I'm going to take advantage of this at the moment, listen to the call, and also go for a walk.
Nice. Well, I just shared the links onto our Twitter page right now on my Twitter page. So I made sure to tag XPL. So that's the token that John was talking about today. For those who don't know, that was Plasma. The project itself is Plasma, backed by Peter Thiel, large company, also backed by Tether. So two huge players. And it's doing not bad today. It's about flat from where it started. Not the big boom that people were definitely expecting. I think people have their expectations a little bit high right now from the whole
Yeah,
Aster uh,
yeah, most definitely.
but it's not too bad.
Yeah, yeah. But XPL is looking really good. It's looking like it's about to break out past $1, which we'll talk a little bit about that right now. But I mean, even though we're getting all these nice pre-sales coming out, these new early release launches that are, going 5, 10, 20, 30 X's, um, the market's bleeding a little bit. Profit taking all across the board. I mean, look at the daily. The market definitely did have a pretty big hit. I believe this was a liquidation event. If I could go ahead and recall from what Tam was talking about, when it comes to leverage, there's always a lot of liquidation. So you have to be very, very careful. But I mean, just take a look at AVAX down 15%. Definitely a pretty big hit. IP down 26. XPL alone is down 21%. Now, I don't actually know the price it actually launched. Did it launch at a high price?
It did. It launched at $1.30 something. Let me double check.
Okay.
So it is technically
Really?
down from where it started. The launch was at CoinGecko. Come on. Um, it was, yeah, it launched at, well, yeah, it went to a high of $1.15 right after launch. So yeah, it's actually up according to CoinGecko. So I'm not exactly sure why it's
Yeah.
showing down.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Oh, Russ, welcome in, Russ. He says he's out walking and listening as well.
Nice.
That's good. It's always a good
Touching
way to do it.
grass.
That's what I like to go ahead and do at times. To spend too much time on the computer.
Yes.
You got to get some fresh air. You'd go crazy with these markets. I always get asked, how do you keep your sanity with these markets? And in reality, you try to not be too emotionally involved into them, which is the most difficult part, especially when you have money. But yeah, going out for walks and kind of keeping your mind off of crypto as we wait for the altcoin season is all what we're all waiting for, right? Um, Now, let's go ahead and talk about just the monthly. I mean, the monthly alone, as we're seeing some red, keep this in mind. This is the reason why I'm showing you this. Is so we could go ahead and have an idea to the broader picture of this. Is yes, we're seeing tokens, right now retrace 19, 20, 30%, even maybe some out there that are down 40%. But also keep in mind that the market overall for the monthly has been performing very well. I mean, we've seen pump up over 75%, Memeland, MYX. There's been quite a few winners. I mean, AVAX actually did, I think it was a 40%, if I'm not mistaken. It's now down to 22. But a lot of tokens have done very, very well. BNB finally surpassed its all-time high, right? If I'm not mistaken, Tristan?
Yeah, I think you are right. BNB has been an incredible performer. down 5% today, but it did hit its all-time high just 4 days ago at 1,048.
Yeah, this is the all-time high of forever, right? All-time
Yeah,
high of,
all-time high since B&B started,
wow, this is freaking
2017, back in
crazy.
2017.
This is crazy because this is a clear sign that we are pivoting into this altcoin season that we're all going to be waiting for. I'm not sure if any of you guys listen to Tan's call, if you guys are part of our community, but these are the signs that we usually see. We see the rotation from Bitcoin, we see the rotation from the bigger, blue chip altcoins such as Ethereum, Binance, and then as those are running up, then we start to see the lower cap tokens start to take off. The little bit more speculative ones too as well. But yeah, these are clear signs that the market's getting excited. I think the market's willing to start taking on this risk, and I think we could be expecting a turnaround in this market early or mid October. That's what I'm expecting. Now, keep in mind, as I mentioned, guys, I think this is a normal correction, healthy correction. Always put things into perspective from a larger picture. But yeah, the markets are looking really well. Now, there is, and there could be also some pretty good entry points for some of the tokens. I will talk a little bit about that, but I want to go ahead and quickly go over the moon phases, the moon phases, and why I'm actually bullish. We should have probably titled the video "The Moon Phase." What is next moon?
Moons for the
So
moon phase.
yeah, we actually talked about this on our last live. So if you guys are brand new to the channel, make sure to smash that subscribe button, turn on post notifications, like, comment down below if you guys have any questions. But we literally predicted this live last week over the moon phases. Like, the moon phases is what really gave us an idea of what was going to happen in the market. So take a look at this real quick. So looking at Bitcoin right now, I talked about this back in early September, how we were seeing a full moon. Usually full moons indicate bottoms in the market. So as you see this little green dot, that was the bottom of the market. Market went ahead and went crazy. People thought we were going to go ahead and finally see Bitcoin hitting new all-time highs, and we had fake outs. So then we had a new moon actually enter the space on September 21st, and the market actually started to correct. And we talked a bit about this yesterday during Let's Talk Crypto with Tristan and our private community at Decentralized Masters. How we were expecting some sort of sell-off, but I didn't expect the liquidation to happen this quick. So as you see right here, it looks like Bitcoin did dump aggressively due to a liquidity grab. So this usually happens when there's a lot of greed in the market. People are getting excited and then just start leveraging. There's a reason why you have to be very, very careful with leverage trading, because during times like this in the market, they'll go ahead and shake you out and they'll quickly reverse the market right back up as soon as they get you out of the market. And what is liquidation? For all of you that are familiar with like traditional finance, trading on the stock market, that is basically getting margin called. The only difference with the liquidation is that because of how crypto moves so quickly, most people probably don't even have the time to add more liquidity to their position for them not to go ahead and get liquidated. And the thing is, with a liquidation, you just lose your money. Unlike like on the traditional stock market, you put in your you have to either go ahead and pay your margin. You get margin called and they'll give you a few days. And if you don't do it within a few days, they'll go ahead and start selling your assets to recoup that money. Very similar process with crypto, but they'll just take the money right away. They won't wait days. They won't go ahead and try to recollect the money. The money's just instantly gone the moment it hits that liquidation point. And this is why we see these big, massive corrections in the market. So this is what really panics people in the market when we see these massive moves to the downside. But nothing to panic about. We talked about a possible new moon approaching. New moon happened. Now, I do have good news for all of you. So we actually do have a full moon coming in the second week of October. That is going to be October 7th or 8th, if I'm not mistaken. It's actually going to be on a Sunday. And I'm expecting for the market to finally start to recover around that time. So I don't think there's much time left of this bleeding, but I do think this bleeding is going to be going into second week of October. And I actually went ahead and gave you some wrong information. It's going to be October 6th where we actually have the full moon. So I do expect second week of October for the market to start to recoup, come back up. So this could be a buy and dip opportunity. As I mentioned, probably not just yet. We are on Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday already.
Tomorrow is Friday.
Wow, I can't believe that. Time flies by so quick. So with that being said, usually Fridays there is a sell-off in the market. So possibly if you're considering a buy and dip, buy a little bit if you really want to, because there is some opportunities that are looking really good. But ideally, I would personally wait till Friday, see how the market reacts. Usually Wall Street has a massive sell-off on Fridays if they're not feeling too positive of what's going to be happening with the news in the next coming weeks. And keep in mind, as I mentioned, this is normal take profit behavior. Just that the whales go ahead and purposely move the market to shake weak hands out of the market to buy your bags, and then they'll go ahead and push the price back up. So don't get shaken out. Don't get shaken out. This is a totally normal correction. Now, this is more than actually normal. This is definitely manipulated. I mean, they liquidated some people on purpose, but a correction was needed to happen. So as long as we don't see Bitcoin drop too aggressively, I don't think we'll see Bitcoin drop too much. I think the lowest we'll probably see Bitcoin drop. I mean, worst case scenario is 105. What do you think, Tristan?
Yeah, it's been dropping pretty violently today. Like we just touched 108. But I think the sell-off is largely extended just because someone was like he's just said, they're out there hunting people who are long. So the people who have massive long positions, they're out there trying to liquidate those guys. So I think a lot of it is a little bit extended today. But yeah, I don't really see Bitcoin dropping really below like 107, at the moment. You said 105. I think that's probably about right. It's just because that's where we had a previous support and it's been pretty strong around there. So
Yeah,
that's the thing what I would be thinking too.
yeah, exactly. I'm thinking the same thing. That worst case scenario for Bitcoin, if we do see Bitcoin start to get rejected, I mean, we might try to see it come back up and then fall back down. And 105, I really think is going to be the zone, and then it's going to go ahead and try to rebound and then come back up. And the reason why I say that is because if we actually zoom out, we've seen this behavior multiple times in the market. We see the market getting ready to pop off, liquidation grab, pump. Market getting ready to pop off, fake out, liquidation, pump. So this is a really common thing that market makers go ahead and do. So not something that's surprising, to be completely honest. But yeah, just be in the lookout. As I mentioned, I'm not really doing anything too aggressively right now. The only position that I'm in actually is XPL, which I'll talk a little bit about that for all of you that are holders. But let's talk about Ethereum, because let's be honest, we all really care more about Ethereum than Bitcoin, because Ethereum is what's going to signal that altcoin season for us. And this is actually, we nailed it, Tristan.
Well,
Let's just hope it holds its zone. But we talked about
yeah.
this yesterday, how we were expecting a possibility of ETH because we were seeing a lot of weakness in ETH yesterday. We mentioned how a worst case scenario we'd be seeing ETH coming down to $3,800, and it should bounce off of this area. Now, this is a very strong area of support, so that's why we're assuming, I guess if you want to call it, that it should go ahead and not fall down any lower than this. But of course, if we do fall down lower, it's going to be around the $3,500 to $3,400, which I'm really hoping we do not see that happen, because altcoins are going to get demolished. Like altcoins are already getting demolished. Like a lot of these altcoins are down 30-40%. Like Uniswap alone, I think it's almost down 40%, which was one of my favorite plays that I traded a few months ago, like 2 months ago. And that corrected very aggressively. So realistically speaking, we do not want to go ahead and see Ethereum take a big dive, but I do think that we're almost coming to an end with this correction. Just give it a few more weeks, and things are going to be back to normal. But just want to go ahead and give you that heads up, so when it happens, you're not surprised, because we weren't surprised of this happening. I didn't wake up this morning, I'm like, oh wow, the market's crashing. Did you, Tristan?
No, I just kind of like, yeah, it was needed. I think things are looking very lofty. Things are very expensive. So I'm not even surprised, really, the market's come down so aggressively in the last 2 or 3 days. And you can see
Yeah.
that on Solana as well. Solana is now below
Yeah,
200.
let's pull out Solana. Solana did correct aggressively. Let's take a look at Solana right here. So look at that correction with Solana. I mean, Solana from 253 down to 196. So it's actually entering a very major area of support. But we do see Solana doing it around a 20% correction. So this is where with altcoins, a 20% correction for all of you that have been in crypto for a while is really nothing. But for all of you that are entering new into the space and your experience is traditional stocks, 20% correction is pretty aggressive.
Yeah, for all the traditional finance investors out there, yeah, 24% is pretty rough. For crypto guys, that's just Tuesday.
Yeah, 100%. But I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys with a few tokens to consider, and then I'm going to go ahead and shift over to Tristan. There's really not much aggressively to talk about into the market. I'll go ahead and show you a few plays that I'm currently looking at. Chain is one. I've been talking about this one for a while. I actually called it back right here at around $2. Went ahead and broke the point of control, and now right now showing signs of strength. Bounce off to 211 very nicely. Right now it's entering a little bit of resistance. So I think anything under the 280 zone and under is a pretty good area to buy. So it's currently right now at 249. Of course, not financial advice. If it does drop back down to like 218, 211, I think a really good entry point for that. But Chain is looking really nicely. It is EVM compatible. So if we do see a reversal on Ethereum, expect this to also have one as well. Now, another one that I saw surprisingly was HBAR. HBAR looked pretty neat when I saw the chart. It looks like a possible bull flag pattern right here forming. So it's getting ready for a breakout. Right now, it's in this channel. So I like what I'm seeing here for HBAR. As long as we go ahead and continue in this channel, once we do see the reversal in the market, we're more than likely probably going to go ahead and see HBAR do a move like that. So looking very, very positive. One of my other favorite patterns to go ahead and trade bull flag patterns are HBAR. Another token I would recommend checking out. Another token I would say would be Uniswap. One of my favorite tokens is actually at a really good entry right now with support. As we see, it's currently sitting at 743. It has corrected aggressively. I called this token back in like July at around under here, I believe under $6-7. And then went ahead and pumped over 62% and then corrected over like 50%, almost 40%. So this is a pretty big correction on this one. But this one too, what I like about this one, it looks like a major cup and handle pattern possibly forming on a longer time frame. So as long as we can go ahead and pick up a momentum, we're going to go ahead and see a move like that. So this could be leading towards this altcoin season that we're all waiting for. But yeah, a lot of opportunities in my opinion. Something like Uniswap, I think even where we're currently at right now at $7, it's a pretty good entry. Anything under the $7 mark, so anything under $8, I think it's a pretty good solid buy. And if you can get it at $5 again, I think this is a no-brainer right here for Uniswap. Uniswap is doing a lot in the ecosystem with ETH. They have a lot of liquidity pools, and also now they have their own chain, Uni, and their own wallet. So Uniswap is doing some pretty big things, and also it's relying on ETH. So if ETH starts to break out, makes new all-time highs, guess what's going to happen to Uni? It's going to go ahead and do that. But the problem is that when Ethereum corrects, does a 15% correction, whatever the case is, you're going to see a 40% on Uniswap. So yes, when ETH starts to show strength, you're going to get a 50+% increase. But when Ethereum dumps, you're going to go ahead and get a 40% downside to it. So you have to be very, very careful. So just giving you a heads up, also very correlated to Ethereum. And then the last one I'm going to go ahead and leave you with, I've been talking about this one, Say. And I'll talk a little bit about XPL actually. Say right here also had a major area of support, but honestly, Say is lacking volume. It's not really much. There's not much really going on with Say. I don't know how you feel personally about Say, Tristan.
Despite it being a very messy chain to bridge the bridge from and move around, if you can't send funds right, you can't send Say directly from Coinbase at the moment, for example. And then there's like the old Say wallet that used to be on Cosmos, and now Say is on ERC as well. So it gets a little bit messy between there. But besides those things, the rest of the Say project I do like. It's very fast. It's larger in gaming than you would expect it to be. But at the moment, I would want to see, just based on the chart, I want to see if that support holds. if that support holds, that would be a confirmation for me that it might be going up more. And then also that plays into what John was saying recently about Uniswap. If it had that cup and handle, then maybe that would be the start of said altcoin season. But yeah, I would just want to see if that support holds for it to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it is a major area of support, but I think around where we're currently at, even as low as 24 cents, it would be a really great entry for a token like this. But yeah, say kind of it's slowing down on traction right now. I believe what ended up causing this pump was an ETF, right?
Yeah,
I believe, or
exactly.
something pretty big is what brought in the excitement. But now, for all of you that might be watching the stream that are brand new, XPL, I'm going to quickly talk about this, and then I'm going to go ahead and flip it over to Tristan. So let's go ahead and take a look at XPL, what is currently going on. Let's go over for the 5-minute chart in this case. Whoa.
Oh.
Let's see if I can find the chart directly for Hyperliquid. Okay, no, but I do know XPL was listed on Bitfinex, so maybe we could get some information here. It's really difficult when brand new launches come out and you don't have much data. Oh wow, this is worse.
That's not it. Yeah, trading view, not the greatest here.
Yeah, I'm just not even going to try it. I guess we're going to have to give it some time for the chart to develop. But I'm going to go ahead and flip it over to Tristan. But what I will go ahead and basically say is I do believe we're probably going to be approaching a breakout with XPL. Actually, this is a way better looking chart right here.
That's not bad.
Not too bad. So let me go ahead and put it on the 15-minute chart right here. Okay, so we actually went ahead and witnessed a breakout on the OKX exchange right here at around 84 cents. As you see, a lot of traction picking up here. And currently right now with XPL, it's looking to go ahead and find a very strong area of support at around this $1 to 95 cents. So as long as we're able to hold between this $1 to 95, $1 to $1.90, let's call it, we should go ahead and start to see a continuation to an upside, and our next area that it's going to be approaching is going to be around $1.30, $1.50, around that zone. So as long as XPL holds between where we're currently at right here, this massive rectangle, which is around the $1 to as low as 93 cents, we should go ahead and continue to see this this breakout. But you're kind of seeing this ladder effect right here, very similar to what we saw actually happen with Aster. Let's see if I can find a nice chart with Aster real quick. But Aster also initially, when it went live, it had a really nice chart where it was just doing this ladder effect. Yeah, you guys are going to be able to see it right here. So it has basically an accumulation zone. It was an accumulation zone right here, breaks out, and then accumulates for a little bit, and then breaks out, and then right here it just couldn't accumulate any further. But this is a healthy correction for Aster 2 as well, which I'm going to be looking to enter a trade very soon once support is being held. But yeah, I'm expecting a little bit more upside to XPL. I honestly expected more hype based on the hype that was being said about the token. But I do believe we could probably continue to see a little bit more upside on that token. So next price target is going to be $1.30. If we could break towards that, and we're going to be off to the races at $2 and above.
Yeah, I think XPL, the market cap already is at 1.8 billion, closer to 1.9. So unlike Aster, XPL did release at quite an expensive valuation just to begin with. So it's not going to be moving as aggressively as Aster first did.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
So
Aster was a different ball game. I think that's what we were all expecting for XPL, especially with the narrative. I mean, they're going to be working very closely with stablecoins, which is a new hot thing this cycle.
Yeah. All right. I think, John, you are going to be leaving us shortly here, but
Yeah, I'm going to be leaving in a few minutes, but I'm going to stay here for a few more minutes until, unless you're kicking me out.
No, you stay, please stay. No, I got not too much news today. We had what am I trying to say? There was an exchange operating in Canada called Trade Ogre. Trade Ogre was the victim of the RCMP, which is the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, from my American friends. They seized $40.6 million in crypto from Trade Ogre, the largest in Canadian history, for lacking KYC and enabling money laundering, based on a Europol tip back in 2024. Supporters like Taylor Monahan and Ruben Yap call it theft from innocent users, arguing privacy-focused exchanges aren't illegal and demanding evidence and recourse. I'm surprised I wasn't aware of this exchange myself before this happened. Yeah, but yeah, Trade Ogre. Just be careful. Never have all your money in one spot, especially if it's a centralized body like an
Heard about this
exchange.
platform.
Yeah, no KYC.
Yeah. Wait,
Well,
so they went down or what happened?
the
So
Canadian government seized all their assets, all the
okay,
crypto. So
wow, this is in Canada.
yeah, so you could go in and go get your claim though. If you were a user of this exchange, you would be able to go to the BC courts and say, I had money in this exchange, I want it back. However, if you were a criminal using this for, money laundering, going to the court and asking for your money back may not be something you really want to do.
Yeah, trade. I know Trade or Orgo was really used for people that were moving funds without KYC.
Hmm. Yes, so always be careful of that. So let's talk about inflation real quick here and the what do you call it? The interest rates. So we do have a very high shot right now of a 25 basis point cut coming for October. I think John and I were talking about this in our Let's Talk Crypto. It seems like at the moment that we will have 3 rate cuts for the rest of the year, one in October, one in December, and then the one that we just had last month. Yeah, so at the moment, people are betting that we are trending in that direction. We did get a very good job, and not a jobs report. We got a good economic growth report today. So that's might be why you see us trending down a little bit today in these predictions here. But John, before you run, what's the verdict? 2 rate cuts, 3 rate cuts, only 1 rate cut. What are we getting for 2025?
I think we're definitely going to get rate cuts on October. I think we could probably expect a December rate cut if we're expecting also an extension of the bull cycle into the next year, because it just wouldn't make sense, if they do rate cuts in December and then the market just stops. There's no way. So I'm thinking if they go ahead and continue with rate cuts into December, it could probably lead on into a possibility of a 2026 bull run, which I think we would all be happy, to be completely honest, because we would all be making a lot of money, especially because this market has been doing very, very well. So if we do get extended to 2026, neat, but I do expect rate cuts happening in October as well.
Yeah, and you know what? And the rest of the entire market is with you on that. So, well, 80% of it at least. So we do have rate cuts looking like we're going to be coming. And real quick here, we'll look at the inflation rate. At the moment, it looks like we go to true inflation to kind of get a reading on this. Let me just share it again. So it looks like we're at 2.42%, still quite high, but not that bad. Just a little bit higher than the Fed's target rate of 2%. So not that bad. But all in all, we also had Powell speak right after the rate decision. Based on low job growth, so we're actually losing jobs in the United States. They are actually going to prioritize full employment over the inflation rate. So the Fed has 2 mandates: keep inflation low and keep jobs high. Right now, unfortunately, those are going in opposite directions. So inflation is still quite high, and the jobs are going lower. So the interest rate cut, the main tool that the Fed has in their tool shed, that will bring inflation up if they cut it, but it will create more jobs. So they're betting here that the inflation rate is not going to increase dramatically with this cut, but it will bring jobs back into the market. So it's hard to say exactly what's going to happen here. So that's why you see a lot of uncertainty in the market. But yeah, last week they did a 25 basis point cut. It looks like October will be cut as well. We'll skip that one today, but also wanted to bring this up real quick here. as we've been talking about Asterdex, that had an explosive token generation event. But now it is rivaling Hyperliquid and signaling strong trader conviction and liquidity. Aster hit a 24.7 Aster hit $24.7 billion in 24 hours in perpetual volume, so people trading back and forth on Wednesday, surpassing Hyperliquid's 10 billion. The TVL also surged 196% to $1.85 billion for Aster. Aster is a BNB. Well, it is a Binance kind of sponsored chain that was promoted by CZ, the founder, former CEO and founder of Binance. And I got a little chart to show you as well here. So this is a comparison between Aster and Hype on a 4-hour chart. This one up here, the larger one, that it being Aster, and this small one down here being Hyperliquid. As you can see, basically since Aster's been released, Hyperliquid has been on a downtrend. So Aster has been sucking the liquidity out of the entire crypto market, and then Hyperliquid's has been a big victim of that. All right, and then speaking of Hyperliquid did have a launch of their stablecoin. So USDH went live on the Hyper EVM, backed by cash treasuries. It has 2 million already in volume in its USDC pair for the ecosystem. It is being, it won issuance rights in September 14th. So we already have some validators, Phage, Ladner, and I think that is Agni Holo3. I don't know. But yeah, so there's already some validators operating for the USDH token. They will, a lot of the money that this stablecoin is going to generate is going to go to buybacks of the Hype token. So that is further buybacks for Hype. I know they've already been running some, so it is a long term. Still, Hype is very optimistic for me. I just it got very expensive there for a little while. So let's see how far it pulls back. But yeah, just if you want to go and look at it, it is on CoinGecko, USDH, and there was a pretty good liquidity pool that I found for USDH as well. But we will skip that for now. Yeah, and this is just a little graph about the profit taking that we've been seeing recently. It does match the previous cycles. So back in 2024, there was some profit taking, and we see that we trended sideways for quite a bit of time in both cases, and we see that happening again here. So just if we're going to be trending sideways, consolidating for a little while, things have gone up quite violently. So it's to be expected. Yes. And one more thing here. BitGo also filed for IPO. So BitGo submitted their S1 to the New York Stock Exchange, listing under the ticker symbol BTGO with 90.3 billion in assets under custody this June. They serve 4,600 clients and 1.1 million users across 100 countries. Co-founder / CEO Michael Belshi retains voting power via a dual-class share system. And one thing here, John already gave his take about XPL, and I think I'll give mine as well. This I made pre-launch, so my thoughts on this kind of planned out exactly how it happened. Tomorrow's XPL launch, it looks good. So the launch did look good today, and it's perfect timing. Tether did announce a $2 billion raise at a $500 billion valuation. Making it one of the most valuable companies in the world. In Hyperliquid, you could trade XPL early, so it was trading as a perpetual even before the token launched today. Just everyone, there's a lot of hype about this. Everyone has hyping it up on Twitter, hyping it up in our private communities. And I just wanted to remind everyone that hype can be blinding. It didn't turn out bad. It didn't turn out amazing. It's just doing not bad. So for those who are in XPL, I think you are okay in the long run. It seems like a really interesting project, and I'll be watching it as we go forward. Yeah, that's about all I had to share today, John.
XPL to the moon.
To the moon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think we probably expected a lot for XPL, but I do see some definitely some upside with it. So it's good to be holding. I think it's going to be more of a longer term hold. I definitely agree, and I think also same thing with Aster too as well. So for all of you that might have missed Aster, I think there's going to be a buying opportunity on that coming up relatively very soon as well. I mean, I think it's already retraced over 30 to 40% since it's hit its all time high, almost hit $3. Um, so same thing with XPL. I think it's going to be a little bit more of the exchange listings that are going to happen, and then we're going to start to see that excitement and breakout happening. Because I know I'm not sure if you know, but they're comparing it to like something with XRP. I'm not sure if you heard about it. I swear, I literally went on YouTube yesterday and what was his name? Altcoin Daily was talking
Yeah.
about how this is the next XRP. Hey man, you know what that means when people hear the next XRP, it's gonna go crazy.
XRP army. Oh dear. All right. Well, as long as I can get in early, then I guess. Yeah. Oh man. Well, no, it is a really interesting project with very sophisticated backers like Peter Thiel. So it is a pretty good project to keep your eye on.
Yeah, they got some pretty big players, a lot of big money in it. So I think especially with the pivot of stable coins, like that's a narrative to cycle stable coins.
Yeah, absolutely. Stable coins. We've been talking a little bit about dexes and perpetuals as of recently with Aster and Hyperliquid, but stable coins has been the running theme the entire time.
Yeah, and honestly too as well is just I think Hype just was really good at abling to market their product very well because it's not like they never had Dex perpetuals before. I mean, they've had it quite a bit for years. Unless you're really new, right? You had to really know that there was Dex perpetuals, but there's been Dex perpetuals. Like one of the very popular ones was Apex, which is actually created by Bybit, which is one of the other top exchanges when it comes to trading. And they went ahead and created that platform, but didn't really get the traction. So I think Hype just really knew how to market it correctly, and also I think the name, I think the name
Yeah.
had something to do with it, man, because that's like hype. Like it almost kind of like when I hear hype, I almost feel like I think of a meme coin, if you ask me.
Yeah.
So
Hype
they
is
knew how to
blinding.
capture that, you know?
Yeah, they had a very good marketing team, but I think the whole company itself is only something like 20 employees. It's very small.
Yeah, it's very very small, but they make a lot of money.
Yes. Like Tether.
Yeah, yeah. That's why didn't Hype come up with their own stablecoin too?
Yeah, just recently this week.
Yeah, a lot of exchanges are coming up with their own stable coins. That's the new thing. I think even Aster has their own stable coin on their platform. But the thing is with Aster, what I really liked is that they have a lot more features. They have like copy trading, they have grid bot trading. Like it's pretty amazing. And I think the fact that they were able to implement off the bat multiple blockchains, I think that was very smooth of them. You know what? Like with Hyperliquid, it was Arbitrum for almost a whole entire year.
Yeah.
At least that's what it felt like. I don't know. I think Hyperliquid's been out for a year now, right?
Yeah.
It got
About a
launched
year.
back in November of last year. Yeah, so Hyperliquid was literally the only blockchain you were able to use was Arbitrum, which is very limited to a lot of people because at that time, not that many people were using Arbitrum.
Yeah. It launched back in November of 2024, so we're just about coming up
Yeah,
on a year.
yeah, I remember that launch. It's crazy.
Huh. Yeah. Well, I'm still optimistic about Hyperliquid. I think the one thing about Aster that was really attractive to me is I think they have private not it's not the pools are not public. Like you can do the trades and they're not visible to everyone, whereas Hyperliquid they are.
Oh wow, that's a little tricky
Yeah. I'm not exactly
because we
sure
want
how those
transparency,
work.
right?
Yeah, but it doesn't quite have that though.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with the Hyperliquid, this is a way they're able to liquidate wells. Like yesterday, literally, I was seeing Hyperliquid wells going long on Ethereum and Bitcoin. I'm like, I was seeing like $20 million long. I'm like, that's crazy. And the next thing you know, the market just dumps, you know? So I'm sure the fact that people are able to see that, they're definitely having an edge. We're like, okay, everyone's going long, let's short it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem with the public, everything being visible is that people can actually go out and kind of hunt those, hunt your
You know,
liquid
that
asset
actually
price.
happened to me, man. I used to live stream my trades on YouTube. I learned the hard way to not do that ever. I thought because I had a small channel, no one really cared. But no, I had a small channel of like, I would have constantly 20, 30 viewers that would join my channel. And when I started streaming my live stream trades, going very, very well. And then all of a sudden, when I started getting traction, I started to lose money. Every time I entered a trade, I noticed it would do the opposite. And they were like literally stream sniping me. So whatever trade I would take, they'll just go ahead and do the opposite and just push the project down. So I learned not to ever live trade like that, especially when it comes.
Literally stream sniping.
Yeah, especially when it's lower cap tokens, like when it's like a meme coin, very easy to move. You don't really need that much liquidity to move a token that way.
Yeah, yeah. And the
But
small
yeah,
tokens.
I learned on that.
That's why we don't do live trading here on the Decentralized Masters YouTube channel. And
Yeah,
speaking of
definitely
it,
won't be taking live trades.
no. But I guess we can take, unless there's anything else you want to say, John, we can leave it here.
Nope, that's it on mine. I do have a call that I got to pick up right now, so
Alrighty then.
hope you all have a good one. You could go ahead and end it, Tristan.
Alrighty. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, to this week's episode. I hope you're walking with some clear insights to push your DeFi journey forward. Remember, DeFi is evolving fast, and staying ahead means taking action with the right knowledge. If you're ready to dive even deeper and want a roadmap to build your own DeFi success, check out the DeFi Masterclass. The link is in the description below, or at least it's supposed to be. In the training, you'll be given clear hands-on strategies to maximize returns and manage risk, and truly make the most of what DeFi has to offer. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss next week's live episode. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and we'll see you right here next time on Decentralized Masters.
Take care, everyone.
Take care, everyone.